And we're live. Hello. Hi, everyone. Thank you for
Hello.
joining. Hi. Thank you for joining us tonight. We've got. Let's see if I can do this because the mirror thing. We've got. Oh, wrong way. Michelle Carpenter. Michelle Carpenter, and we have Joni, and we have Pete. So, hello. Thank you. Thank you all for joining us.
Hello.
And
Thanks for having me.
so everyone, we're here tonight as the title says, SPTV. Let's talk, heal, and move on. So it was my idea to invite these lovely people on to talk about things, to answer questions, because they do have a lot of knowledge about some things we're going to talk about. And I know all of you probably have questions. So please, if you have a question, put question before your question or comment. We have some ground rules tonight, and Michelle's going to speak to that. And she's also going to show us some things, talk about her journey, and also her friends, Joni and Pete, will chime in with some input as well. And guys, we're like, I won't say we're family, but we're like a family/community, and we all are here for one purpose: to see cult abuse and narcissistic abuse and cults of one and all kinds of abuse stop. So that's what brought us together in the beginning, and that's what it's going to keep us together. So I hope you all will just sit back, relax. You can express yourself, but please be respectful. So, Michelle, take it away, and everybody can introduce themselves. So, since they're your friends, they're my friends now too. But go ahead and introduce your friends and yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle. If you're tuning into this, maybe it's because you're curious about how the hell we got to the point that we did, that I put out a video earlier this week about Goldie, the SPTV moderator. And we want to answer some of those questions. And let me just, first, we'll just I guess, tell you who the hell we are, and why we're here, why we're involved in this in any way whatsoever, because none of us would like to be. I mean, I'm glad that I'm here.
I'm glad you're here too.
I'm not glad that I'm involved in this.
Yeah.
I created the SPTV Discord in May, April or May, and in August, when Zero Dark Tony came out with a video about Goldie, there was people chatting about it in the Discord, and that's kind of how I came into it, because I was like, I gotta I don't know how to shut this down. It seems like drama. Maybe we should just create a thread to talk about it in a dedicated space. And that's how I got involved in this at all. There were people that were coming in the Discord and saying, I feel weird and unsafe in the chat because I saw this and that, and I had no idea what they were talking about, wanted to verify it. And so we started a thread. Blah, blah, blah. All that to say, Joni and Pete were with me on that, different parts of that journey. And Joni and I really got in the trenches with grabbing the screenshots that were used in the video and putting that information together once it became apparent that that was what we're felt we needed to do, which we'll also talk about. So, Joni, you want to add anything or say hi?
Yes. Hi, I'm Joni. I might be the only person here who was a Scientologist at one point in the early 90s. And yeah, so I was just hanging out in the SPTV Discord one day, and it was like I was just in the worst place at the worst time, and saw this conversation forming and couldn't unsee it, and now here we are. But I did help. I helped Michelle with the visual, like inserting all the screenshots into the video. So I did spend many hours scrolling through all that stuff and pulling, including ones that were kind of big and bright and easy to see for the purpose of the video. But it really was just a fraction of the stuff I waded through. And yeah, I guess that's the extent of my role.
Yeah.
I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Um,
important to me as a person who did rely on SPTV as like a sort of a healing venture. Part of a healing thing is to be able. It's the first time in my entire life in 30 years I've found people to commiserate with about this. Like I couldn't even talk about it before. So I felt protective of the space and of the creators for that reason. So that's how I got sucked into it. Also, I have loved ones who are super the gay. So there's that too.
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
And
Pete?
Pete came in
Uh,
quite late there at
I was late in the game, sure.
basically I went live with Pete a few weeks ago, um and Goldie was moderating for him, and afterwards I was like, "Hey, I don't feel super comfortable like when I'm streaming with you that she's moderating," and he asked me why, and so that's kind of uh how I dragged Pete into this.
Poor, sorry, Pete.
Yeah.
No. Just to piggyback on that, I mean, Michelle and I had started a show called Subject to Change, which we did on a Thursday, and Goldie had been in the chat. I had actually invited her to the channel to watch the show, and during the chat, I said, or during the live, I actually said, it would be wrong if I didn't moderate Goldie, because just she was a staple of the community. Who didn't have Goldie as a moderator? And then just to piggyback on what you guys are saying, it was a hell of a surprise to me of what you guys did, the research that you guys did, in finding out, it could, because this wasn't just a guess, or maybe this is her. You guys did real research and real background, investigation, I guess you would say, to find out that is this person who is putting on the guise of a sweet woman in the chat, does she really hold these sorts of beliefs? And unfortunately, the answer was yes. And I think today we're here not to make decisions for other people. I mean, it's up to the creators. It's up to every creator, really, to where they want to go, with this knowledge.
I mean, it's
I
not
think we.
anymore.
I was just about to say. I
I'm
think we all got a note that Goldie has retired from moderating, but I just want to emphasize that we never pushed anyone to remove her as a moderator or anything. We just want to make it known that, look, this is something that maybe these are beliefs that she holds, and if they don't really align with your beliefs, maybe they do. Just to make it known that these beliefs are out there, she holds them, and just to make people aware is where we were at. And
Yeah.
I want to say the team here, but the team did a great job in really investigating. And before approaching Goldie, with this kind of knowledge, you guys really did your research to make sure that we were confronting the right person. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, they copped to it, and that led us to where we are today. So I don't want to be too long-winded about it, but that's who I am, and that's how I got here.
Well,
So
Pete, I remember you as the one that you collected a GoFundMe for Goldie for her birthday.
I did. I did. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I go. I mean, being a moderator is such a selfless job. It's you don't get. I mean, you get credit, you get thanked in the chat, but I mean,
you
it's
said selfless.
the amount.
Okay.
Yeah, the amount of
Selfless.
the amount of time that she spends in these SPTV channels moderating, and she did a good job. I'll be honest, she did a great job
Yeah.
as moderator.
Right.
It's just the behind the scenes stuff. You want to know about the character of the person that you're choosing as a moderator, and
Yes.
and and I did a
Can I just
GoFundMe with
interject?
Grace.
I just want to. Oh,
For
I'm sorry. I just want to interject there. Just a couple of thoughts because you're making some thoughts. I just don't want to forget. Is that yeah, I totally agree with you that someone does if they do a good job, then they earned some recognition and even some compensation. The thing is, like, with you want to have somebody with character, um, you know, the way I feel is that if somebody has another life, another profile, another something that is also public, like I'm not the thought police. None of us are the thought police. We don't know, what you're thinking, what you really believe. If she held those beliefs and didn't have a public profile, then maybe she would still be around because she did never brought that into the chat. But the fact that she was very, very prolific publicly on that profile. I'll be honest, when it first came up with ZDT way back when, I didn't look into it because it was ZDT, right? And I'm glad that somebody did. But yeah, I think a lot of people just wrote it off as, that's not real. So
When you
that was
look
the
at
first
the
red.
amount,
Well, that was probably the 8th red flag that I that I ignored. But hindsight is 2020 because I did
when
have
you
a
look at
relationship
the
with her.
amount, when you look at the amount of chats or whatever they call them, gabs, in a certain period of time, uh, technically speaking, it came to around 30 a day. I mean, obviously some weren't. She wasn't as prolific, maybe every day, but
Oh yeah. Just to
averaging
clarify
it
though,
out,
because
it came to a
it's worse
really
than
high
your.
number.
Just to clarify, that's 38 per day if she's doing 24-hour a day cycles. Yeah, so
7 days a week. Right.
And I think,
So
yeah,
go ahead.
people
Sorry,
saying
Pete.
like, it just didn't square. Like when people started just like kind of, gossiping about the ZDT thing, like, why are they like, geez, he's going after everybody, even the mod. That's so, what is up with that? It's the same username, but that's all. And, we go and look out of curiosity and it's like, well, this doesn't sound at all like the same person. Clearly this
Yeah.
isn't the same person. And it
And
kind of started as an exercise to like debunk that it was the
that's
same person.
absolutely what it was.
Yeah.
And I do want to go over a little bit of that. So I just
Can we
want
just
to
take a minute?
yeah.
Can we just take a minute? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Just I think you had some guidelines and a little bit of a introduction of the reason why we're actually
That's what
doing
I'm
this.
mhm.
Okay, sorry. I didn't know if you were gonna go back to the gap thing or if we're gonna kind of give the guidelines for tonight. Just because I
Yeah.
just want everybody to know.
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't like write any specific like guidelines or anything. However, that's what I was like coming to, just kind of introducing
sorry.
like why we're here, and basically, I know I feel like I kind of did that over the past 15 minutes, but but I hadn't said my
Right.
part yet.
Sorry.
I just want I want to emphasize a couple of things. The reason that we're making this video, we're doing this live stream, and also like the reason that any of this happened. So, Scientology and other high control groups all have several things in common. And one of them is that sometimes people just disappear and they're there one day and they're gone the next, and you're not allowed to ask why. And I have seen this week in my comments on YouTube a lot of people feeling like Goldie has just disappeared and they were not given a real explanation as to why. Why did this happen? Why did it have to be made public? Why, ignorance is bliss. Can we go back to that? I wish. I want to clarify those things and answer a few questions. Sorry, excuse me. And yeah, no, I don't really have any like guidelines, but like keep it respectful, constructive. We're not here to bash Goldie. We're not here to, get totally in our feelings, but we're here to get the answers that we need to move on, because the real, like the point of this stream and the reason that we're doing this is so that hopefully we can just put it behind us. Goldie has stepped down as a moderator for any channels that still had her, and we just want everyone to be able to focus on Scientology, focus on SPTV, building our community. And if this comes up, I definitely believe that everyone has a right to the answers to the questions that they have about it. I believe in transparency, and I don't want to gatekeep any information or even any reasons why this happened or anything, because we're not a controlling group of people. We're not any kind of organization. We're just a community, and we care about each other, and we're looking out for each other. But I want to be able to answer future comments with like, yeah, I answered all of that. Go check it out.
Right. Right.
You
We
know?
don't want to just drag this on. We thought, well, let's just have an open forum within reason, as long as everyone is respectful, and we can, like the title says, let's talk, heal, and then move on. We don't
I
want to keep dwelling on this. But in order to, there were a lot of comments that I saw this week, and some of them had been erased on other, and we can talk about that too. I understand why, and it's okay. I don't criticize any other creators for doing that, but I'm just saying some people felt like they needed to talk about it in order to move on. Some people are just finding out yesterday, so
Yeah.
that are part of this community. And I think that it's good that it's on a small group of channels like ours, because I'm seeing a lot of familiar names, and these are the people that frequent the big ones. If a giant channel went on there and said, "Hey, this is what's going on," there's people that don't even know there's a chat, literally, let alone a Goldie or anything. So I think it's good that it's like an intimate setting where these are mostly familiar faces that are confused and want to process and talk about it and be able to move on, because we're all here for the same purpose.
I thought it would be I thought it would be a mistake for some of the creators to just disappear her and then never address it, because first of all, that's a big old mystery sandwich, and they should
Mm,
know better. You know what happens when you make a mystery sandwich? That's going to drag it on even longer. But also I kind of feel like as much as it really sucks, I do think they might be a little bit obligated to talk to give people a chance to feel their feelings about it, so then we can move on. So I worry that just disappearance and silence about it is going to
yeah.
drag it on.
No,
But
that's a good
it's
point.
it's
Yeah.
good that we're going to have at least this video that we could say,
Mhm.
hey, you can go look at this.
Right.
And one more point I just want to stress is when I found out about the situation that, and like I said, or as like Michelle said, I found out late. I was never pushed to demoderate anyone. I was just simply given the information that, look, we did our research. We found out that this account is linked to the Goldie who moderates SPTV. And I wasn't, I made my own informed decision. And I think that's what we provided
Right.
other creators, bigger creators, and creators like ourselves. We provided them the information to make their own decision, and what decision they made, I wasn't judging them. No one was really judging them. It's just we wanted to present it in a fair way, and we also wanted to provide it in an accurate way. Um, and I think that's really, and it came
And
down to those creators to make that decision for themselves. Go
in a
ahead, Jenny.
discreet way. I really want to point that
Correct.
out.
That's great. That's a
That
great
it
point.
Yes.
was it was a discreet effort, and it wasn't until Goldie sent out that email of all that misinformation that we were like, "Fuck! Well, now we have to." I'm sorry. Is Can I say?
Oh no,
It's
it's
been
fine.
20 minutes. You're good.
I
Yeah,
think
you're
we're
good.
good.
We said, "Well, fuck! We have to like make it. Now it's a thing."
Yeah, like exactly. Oh my gosh. And that's what I want to stress. And so the Google Drive that I linked in the description of my video, I don't think I said this part on the
You did
stream.
not.
There's no
I
rush.
put some links in the description of my video. I didn't have time to get it added to the description on Marilyn or Pete's videos, but you can find it later. They'll go back and add it in. But it's a Google Drive doc. It's got a shit ton of screenshots in it. I wanted to make these screenshots from the Discord conversation where most of this took place, like available, and also like shut down the thread that it took place in Discord so that we can move on. So I wanted to like um yeah, kind of explain where we were coming from, because how this all started Back on August 21st, I think that was the first time that I was talking about it. Is when it came up, and literally, I mean, we set out, we being like 5, 6 people who ended up chatting about this publicly, but in a thread on Discord. So like it wasn't private, but nobody else was really part of it. We wanted to debunk it. Basically, we said, this is absurd. How can they be saying this about Goldie, and that cannot be true? And so I wanted to provide the screenshots from, you know, that whole conversation, because that was the approach that we had for weeks going through this and being like, this is so gross. Who has enough time on their hands to do this much work to frame someone?
And it was kind of the slow unfolding horror of, well, we're actually proving that it is her. And that
And
feels
now, unfortunately, we've
bad.
seen more hateful stuff.
Feels really bad. And there were a lot of people in the group who were very level-headed. I don't want anybody to think that we just got together and we're like, let's witch hunt somebody. That sounds fun, and make a video and put them on blast. I mean, it was absolutely nothing like that. It was for some people pretty painful, actually. People like
Yeah.
Michelle and Pete, who I'd never talked to Goldie, so I was like, but they, you know, you had horses in that race, so to speak. It was, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just share this one real quick from here. The first day in this thread, and I mean, all of this is still on Discord, so if you want more context, you can go to the Discord and still find this. I haven't shut it down yet, but it's a lot of scrolling because there was a lot of Gab posts.
Oh my God.
But I mean, here, I'll read it. I said, one of the first things I said was, I haven't caught up here fully, but I just wanted to put it out there. I have been the lucky target of an all-out online smear campaign before. Not that anyone's doing that here, but keep this in mind. When complete fabrications were being spread about me, people stating as fact without evidence is what that should say, of me having done some shit I would never do. When more evidence was demanded, there were edited screenshots from the web archive used. It's just, I went into this as someone who was like, oh shit, I do not want Goldie to be the victim of a smear campaign. That is the last thing I want, because I like her, and she does so much for our community, and the things that he is reportedly saying are disgusting, and I didn't want to believe that, you know, that could possibly be the same person. So I wanted to debunk it, basically to put it to rest in the Discord, because that was like, you know, my domain. And let me remove this. And that was the case for a few weeks, I think, right, Joni? And then I kind of, because I published all of these screenshots, and I don't want to go through all of them. Obviously, it's just a ton. But I do kind of want to jump to, oh wait, I had one slide that I was going to put at the intro, and I'll just put it up now because it's still perfectly relevant. A friend in Discord said this right before we went live. They said, there are no perfect victims. There are no truly evil villains. Plenty of people take a lot of time to grow up and don't realize exactly how their actions hurt other people until much later on. Nobody's looking for a single quote out of context. We want a place that's safe for people to grow, which will happen if we care to listen more than we speak. We just need to know that people are safe, that the person handling their emails isn't out in the world advocating to dismantle their rights or pushing misinformation about who they are. We're trying to create a homey atmosphere here, but that means people might share very personal information, things that can put vulnerable people at risk of even more violence. Please understand the concern, even if you don't understand us. And I think that said it perfectly.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah. So, Joni, were you going to say something or? Okay.
Nothing. I was just wondering was that the dog? What was that sound?
That was a cough.
Oh,
Is
okay.
that mine? Is it? Oh, okay.
Wasn't
Make
mine.
sure it wasn't mine.
Marilyn, I brought you into this kicking and screaming. No, that's not true. You made me tell you about this, right?
Well, yeah, because we were doing a lot of work together. We're doing live streams, and I, I was one of the number one cheerleaders for Goldie. I tell you, I mean, I'd be like Goldie this, Goldie, and then you were very discreet, as Joni would say. You were like, no, I don't think no, and I was like, is there something wrong? And you just started to, open up a little bit. And then I was like, okay, the day that, the day that you ended up showing it to me and my jaw was on the floor. And I, even then I was in such denial. This was, close to the end of, I think it was around September 23rd ish or something.
Yeah.
And so that was almost, closing on a month ago. And, I, no offense against you, but I didn't take totally your word for it, because I was like, I need to Google this myself. I need to see that this is actually it. And I showed another creator that is a very, very close friend, only one, because when you have something like that, you just need to tell one person, right? And somebody I really, really, really trust. And she said we can say her name, right? Because it's been
Yep.
public.
Yeah.
So I confided in Kelly about it, and Kelly, the strong person that she is, the I don't give a what, she said, I'm going to ask her. And I barely really had time
And
to even
caring
process what was
person.
happening. She is wonderful. She is just, you know, it wasn't like she didn't go to her with gangbusters or anything. She was just like, by the way, I heard this rumor. I want to know if this profile is yours. And she very flippantly said, yeah, it is. And then she proceeded to show her two of the, two of the most, well, there's so many that were really, really bad, but two of them that were in question, that were in your video. And she admitted to it, and the rest is all in your video. I'm not going to rehash the whole thing, but she took her word for it, and so did I. And both of us, and actually a few days later, Michelle, you and I did a stream together. You told your story about coming out to your parents. I told my story about being raised a bigot. And here we were, a
We
queer
were
person
trying
and a former
to speak to Goldie. We were
set an
trying
example.
to. We tried everything, y'all.
And
we
I made so many statements
reached
about
out
my
to her.
channel. Yeah, I didn't remove her until October 8th. So that was 2 weeks. And the reason I didn't is because, okay, maybe I was a little bit of a wimp. Maybe I was a big fat fucking wimp, but I also wanted to give her a chance and believe her, because I had a relationship with her. I texted with her almost every day. I talked to her on the phone many times. I loved her, as a friend. So this is very, very devastating and hurtful. I didn't want to believe it. And even when she admitted it,
That's sad.
I still said to myself, people can change, So Kelly gave her every opportunity. And then when that email came out and there were things that were completely not correct, that's when things started to escalate. And people started to talk, and the LGBTQ creators found out about it, which absolutely broke my heart. I talk to Liz Ferris almost every day also. And I tell you, she's precious to me. And when it came down to it, I had to take a stand. And, with Goldie, even now, if she called me right now, I would pick up the phone. I've told her 3 times that, I'm here. My door's always open. My phone's always open. If you ever want to talk, to this day. But it wasn't easy, and I had to take a stand. And honestly, there was a different person. There was two different people, and that's happened to me before in my life, and I guess I didn't learn. So
I do want to say one thing, and I think we should also get to questions in a little bit. Shit, what the fuck was I going to say?
Your mic sounds better, by the way.
Does it? Yeah, thank you. What was it? I gotta pass. I forgot what I was gonna say.
that's okay. We'll come back to you. We do have 42 starred questions.
Yeah, I wanted to say
Go
a few
ahead.
more things just
Yeah,
about
absolutely.
like everything that happened. I want to make it clear that through this process, I was a big advocate for reaching out directly to Goldie. I think all of us were just really struggling with how to do that, and then things kind of developed on their own before we had figured out how to approach that, because I've personally had some snippy like email conversations with her. I felt like I wasn't the one, like just based on vibes. And now I have a feeling maybe she just like knew anything about me at all and didn't like me for who I was. But I really wanted to handle this privately, and literally the only reason any of this was made public by me or Joni, like any of us, is because Goldie made it public with like a false narrative, and we didn't know who all she had sent that false narrative email to.
Yeah.
Everyone was BCC'd. I'm
Yep.
getting comments still on my video from people saying, "Oh, I got that flap email." I know Pete got it. I didn't get one. I know she has my email, but so it must not have been the email list. It was individualized. But I felt at that point like absolutely creators have free will to have whoever they want as a moderator, but I believe in informed consent. And
Right.
if they don't know who their moderator is, and they're saying, yes, I sign off on this person, yes, this person represents me, I feel like they should know the truth about what is actually being told to them. Because like the truth is, I didn't bring this to any of those like bigger creators. I did tell Marilyn about it, but she brought it up to them. And what she brought up to them was essentially priming them for the rumors that sound like what we're talking about, so that they wouldn't listen to them. And I was like, that's a huge red flag. And I feel like these people that I have so much respect for would want to know this.
Yeah. And I can attest to the fact that she sent this out to many people in the quote community. Anyone that I'm willing to bet that hundreds, at least quite a few of the people. I don't know how many she sent out, but I've gotten dozens of people telling me, I don't know why people are messaging me, but people that are just people in the chat, not moderator or creators. So she had access, and she even said in her email, that people come to me with their problems. So she knows,
Collateral.
She knows people's phone numbers, addresses, real names. There's people, actually, I just saw someone that's an ex-Scientologist in the chat saying she has my real name and my address. It's scary, so live and learn.
Really
And the
is.
fact that she was the only moderator, she did tell me that she was proudly a gatekeeper because she cared so much. And I think she did to a degree, but this wasn't okay. And the fact that she's always saying, she was always saying, I work so hard for you, I do all this for you, so you basically have to put up with me being this way. No. Number one, I know many people that offered to help, pretty decent people that I know pretty well by now. So
I offered to help.
I
offered to Goldie.
But I have a terrible
But
judge of
I got
character,
ghosted.
obviously. There's a
Oh,
lot of
no.
people. I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm joking.
Okay, good.
I wasn't talking about you anyways.
Good, because I'm a piece of shit.
No, you're not.
You
Stop it.
fools.
One of the
No,
things
I'm
I
delightful.
heard, one of the things I heard is, say you wanted to reach out to a creator like Aaron or Headley or someone that she moderated for, she was really playing the part of the gatekeeper. Like, look,
Mhm.
I can put you in touch with such and such, and she had that sort of power, and she yielded it, which was in my view sort of inappropriate. Well, I remember what I wanted to say real quick, and it's just after learning about the whole Goldie situation, I personally felt very awkward in chats that she modded. I stopped talking, I stopped commenting. I just I the vibe changed in my mind, and I just knowing that she was playing sort of a character in my view, and I refrained from really speaking, and now I feel that I do have it's back to normal, and it's back to the SPTV that I enjoyed commenting and I enjoyed chatting, and I hate to say it, but it's just how I feel.
I've observed a lot of. I'm more of a Twitch person than a YouTube person, but I've observed many situations, and I've never in my life seen a mod with that like cult of personality before, who had their own merch and and people sent money to. Like, I've never seen that before. Um, and for me, I've been banging the drum this whole time of that people deserve to know whose name is on the shirt they're wearing. You know what I mean? Like, people deserve to know who they're giving money to.
Yeah, buying coffee for.
Yeah, because I would be mortified if I'd ever given her money. I know you guys did, but I'm too poor.
No
Right, yes.
comment.
I
No
donated to
comment.
Pete's GoFundMe for her.
And hey,
No comment.
it was given with pure intentions, like Pete
Yeah, I
said.
don't regret that. I
She
want to
did,
say
yeah,
for the
she did
record,
work.
Fair enough.
but
And
also
it,
for the
and it
record, I
was.
respect all of the work that she did for SPTV.
Mhm.
I'm confused as to why she, was playing these two different roles, but my problem is that my problem isn't with her being in the community. I'm not trying to cancel anyone. I'm I feel unsafe in my safe space when she's the moderator, when she has the wrench. That's the problem here. I want everyone to know, like, this is, yeah, I totally disagree with her beliefs. I am disgusted by her Gab profile, but that would not, even if I knew as I do that she stands by the majority, if not all of those beliefs, that would not prevent me from having a cordial conversation with someone in a live chat. Like, that's not, it's about the power, the wrench. Can I pop a question up on the screen that I think is a good
Absolutely.
segue?
She's gonna pop the
Of course, of course.
I
It's just
know,
like
and
I
I hate
typed
to,
it.
you know what?
Yes,
Okay.
the answer is yes.
1,000
Joni?
times
Yes, I will.
Are you Joni?
We're turning into Mormons now. Yes.
Okay. I want to put this one up. It's right in the middle. I'm sorry if anyone thinks I'm skipping you. We have a lot of starred questions. But question from Kelly Cross. Does Goldie fully understand why this is happening? And I feel like Joni might have some insight on that because you emailed her, right?
Yeah, I was not nice.
And
I was
Marilyn's emailed her.
not
I
nice.
want, like,
Mhm.
I have not personally spoken to Goldie about this.
I was crystal clear,
I know
yeah.
how that probably looks, but we emailed a few times earlier in the summer, and it was like short and snippy, and then I got ghosted after asking if I could help moderate, and that was the end of that. But like, anyone who's spoken to her, like, I think she does fully understand, but if anyone can speak to that.
Yeah,
There's
I
the
yeah, go ahead.
there's a little shot in the video that when that just says like this all started with ZDT. It's like just a little and that's the response I got from Goldie was just nuh-uh.
Got it.
So
Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't
you're
get a
like,
response. I at the beginning, when this was going on, I didn't really let on that I knew. And then when we were talking, I answered her first email, with support because she had said she was going to take it down. She was really sorry. And so I said, okay, I haven't never seen it. You say anything bad in the comments and, you know, thank you for owning your mistake, and everyone makes mistake. Okay. But then when the other information came out and she wasn't being truthful, then I went back to her and I said, I'm sorry. You know, I can't, you know, this isn't right. And you're not telling the truth. And I just can't sign off on this. I'm really sorry. Consider you a friend. And then a few days later, I even tried to text her because we were each working with a creator that were working together, and that was not going well. You know, the word spiteful comes to mind, but whatever. So I tried to reach out to her even in a professional capacity, and no answer. So it did really hurt, someone who you talk to every day, but I don't have an axe to grind. I still care about her as a person. I feel sorry for her that she felt like she had to be this way as far as being two other people. I completely disagreed with the statement that these things were not hateful. I think that maybe she didn't feel like she was saying them out of hate, but that much coming out of one person's profile, if it feels hateful to the LGBTQ community, who is anyone to say that that isn't hateful? It sure as hell felt that way. So whether just to the question of, does she understand this, why this is happening? Yes and no. I think she understands why we're doing it, but she doesn't agree with it. And I don't think she understands why what she's doing was wrong. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
perfect way to put it. Yeah, yeah. And I've got,
She understands the context.
is there room, do you think, for me to address her most recent missive to people because it's got some, you know, I wrote a little thing. Is that okay? Just
Yeah.
like a
Yes.
minute.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, can I? There are a couple of these.
Okay.
Like people are getting emails from her, but yeah, read your thing.
I
The
didn't.
novel.
I didn't think I was going to be here tonight. I didn't think I was going to be able to make it, so I wrote a little statement. But I'm
Yeah.
better at writing than talking out loud, so I'm just going to read the statement. I was going to have you guys read because I think this is important. So there are dozens of disgusting screenshots that I helped insert into Michelle's video, but one in particular has become a hot topic amongst all the others, and that is the N-word screenshot, which if you watch the video, I kind of take a second to linger on it. But I recently learned that Goldie has been emailing folks and saying, I would never use that word. So in the interest of absolute clarity, I wanted to state for the record that no, Goldie herself did not type those words. She reposted those words. Like most of the content on her Gab profile, she saw something she liked and she clicked share. With rare exception, most of the screenshots in the video are reposts and they have little text Goldie862 reposted in the upper left-hand corner. So while it is accurate to say that she herself did not put fingers to keys and type the N-word, she did see fit to click repost and share it to her feed. Personally, I find any use of semantics to dodge responsibility to be very weaselly. There's effectively no difference between using a word and reposting a word in this context. Additionally, it was part of a big chunk of all caps text that in video format was unreadable. So I zoomed in on the important bit. I do have the original screenshot if anybody wants to see it, or you can probably still go find it yourself on her Gab page. But because I did have to crop it that way for readability, I'm concerned she will use that to feed her conspiracy that the evidence isn't real or accurate. And then I type out the full text of the post, but you know what? I'm not going to read it. This screenshot is the one thing out of all the things that she's clutching her pearls about. She's using it as the singular reason she resigned as moderator. So I wanted to be crystal clear. It is real. It exists. She shared it, and it was not made with a photocopier and scissors.
If I'm reposting something or retweeting something, I'm essentially co-signing what
exactly
that
right.
creator is saying. So yeah, that is not a excuse in my book, personal.
Not at all. But I'm like, I see what you're doing there. when I saw that email. I'm like, all right.
That
She
screenshot.
resigned. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say that screenshot in full, I think, is in the Dropbox, which
Yep,
is linked
absolutely.
in the description of my video. And we'll probably add it to the other descriptions after the stream is over.
The person who originally wrote it, I think their name was Peach Cracker, and their profile picture is extremely problematic. So it was from top to bottom a horrible post that she was like, "Ooh, this guy gets it," and shared. So
And
just wanted to put that to bed.
she resigned after well over a dozen creators had already removed her. And like we're all saying, and you guys said, nobody, I mean, I didn't go to a creator at all and say, hey, you got to remove it. I mean, I like the only people I talked to were people I actually had a personal relationship with, and even then I was under fear and trepidation. I really did not want to pressure anyone, right? But once Michelle's video came out, and thank goodness it did, because it really did answer a lot of questions and put the facts out there, then that it was like a chain reaction. And Doug did a stream on it, and some of the other bigger channels were starting to actually get the truth instead of the spin that was placed in those emails by Goldie, that, and I don't really say her name since this happened, but love you, Goldie, but by Goldie, that she got ahead of the narrative. She sent out mass emails to who knows who. And at one point she did say that these listed some of the biggest channels, saying that they had given her their unilateral support. Now, the word unilateral means one-sided. And yes, it was one-sided. So this is the other side. This is the truth. So yeah, there you have it.
Thank you.
So I think she
Yes,
was
Great
resigning.
point,
absolutely.
Marilyn.
I think
Great
it's
point.
so important to highlight how she copped to smaller sins,
Right.
for lack of a better word. Like, she said she preemptively primed everyone who she thought might hear about this by saying, okay, I admit, like, there are these rumors going around. I admit they're true. I did this. And this is like not at all what happened, but it is something that's like forgivable and understandable. And so you gain that forgiveness. And then, like, why are people still talking about this drama I've already forgiven? She told me everything. And when it became clear that that is what had happened, like, I the only way I knew, like I said in my video, which hopefully anyone still watching this has seen it, but like I say in that video, I forgot what I was going to allude to, but hopefully you've seen it.
Well, let's be honest. Creators like Aaron, Mark Headley, Mike Render, they have better things to do. I mean, I'm sure they get tens of thousands, or a bunch of emails a day.
Yeah.
And if Goldie's telling her side of the story, and Goldie's a trustworthy person, and she's the moderator of her channel, for God's sake. If Goldie says this is what happened, they're gonna tend to be on her side and believe her. And for someone like Michelle to put together a video that cited proof, she basically put MLA format together in YouTube sense, where she cited things that were true on the internet, and gabs that had been posted by her, and things that Goldie essentially could not refute. And those two things that she posted mindlessly had turned out to be thousands of things. And like I said before, it's up to these creators to make their own decision on what they want to do with this information. I don't
It's
want to
just
say
important that they have it.
it's important that they have the information and know who it is, because let's be honest, we don't vet moderators, or maybe we should start doing that kind of thing, but we don't really look into who's doing the moderation of our channel, and this is something that may come of it if we don't. So it's a learning experience for everyone, and unfortunately this is how it happened, but we live, we learn, and I think after today, we move on, and we go forward. So, and that's really what I'd like to say about that.
I'm gonna BRB.
Okay. I'm kind of clicking through some of the starred comments and questions on here, but I was gonna say I had another statement that I would like to read, and it's kind of a long one. I'm gonna put it on the screen, but y'all won't be able to see it probably. And that's perfectly fine because I'm going to share it. Read it. Sorry. Totally spacey. Okay, so this is a statement from a friend in the Discord. And okay, so I'll just read it. They say, I was involved in vetting it. It made me sick, and I pushed hard for it not to be true, for it to not be true. I want to trust community members until it's impossible not to. I want to take them at their word in respect to who they are. Definitely more than I'd trust a person who only shows up to hate. But not only did it become very obvious, she personally confirmed that it was her account. Honestly, I just felt very sad, almost ill, that the Goldie we trusted would say hateful things about people very much like us and the creators we follow. I can't approve of that, but it doesn't mean I wanted retaliation. I just wanted to protect vulnerable people. At that point, I tried what I could to keep everything as gentle as possible. I wanted to believe in either the possibility of change or a graceful exit. I wanted as little collateral damage as possible, and I wanted to help people grieving at the news. There are vulnerable people on all sides in this community. People who've already had a hard life and don't need more. People who don't deserve to be a stepping stone in someone else's cause. Even people who attack others from their own trauma. That said, sure, we may be softies trying to push for an ideal world, but please don't make us choose between defending a person attacking others for their differences and the people who suffer at the hands of those attacks. Everyone deserves a chance at a happy life, and people need to understand that marginalizing and othering people different from them isn't an option, but an attack. Isn't an opinion, but an attack. Attacks like that weren't uncommon in the past. They don't belong in our future. And I think that just says everything for me. I am happy to go through comments and questions though, but
Yeah,
I'm done with my structured piece.
yeah, there's a couple I had one addressed to me, and I want to address it if that's okay. Dastardly Saboteur, and I've seen a bunch of other comments from you, so I'll just pick this one, but there's a couple other that we might get to. Question, Marilyn Hone, Coffee, Cults, and Crafts. You said you used to be a bigot. Is it okay that you were a mod? I did. I was raised as a bigot. When I started to start thinking for myself and meeting people from the LGBTQ plus community, I realized that they were lovely people and they were just like me. So I am very open about that. And if there is any channel creator that doesn't want to have a mod that was, that used to be a bigot, that's okay. That's okay. I'm talking 16 years ago was when I became an ally, not 6 months ago, not 2 weeks ago. But yeah, and like I said, I've seen people saying that there's a lot, us that we're not having forgiveness or anything like that. Yeah, maybe we're still a little bit wounded and hurt. Maybe I am. Maybe you're seeing that in my face and my voice, but I do to the best of my ability. I gave Goldie every opportunity that I felt I could to come around. Not to me. She didn't owe me anything. She owed it to herself and to a very precious part of this community that has been abused by Scientology and cults and society. And you know what? Scientology might be able to get away with doing this because they're a religion, but we're a community that's trying to heal from this type of abuse, and it's not going to be okay on my channel. That's all I can say about that. And I am sorry that I was a bigot. And I don't think you're going to find anything that I said or did in the past many years that anybody would find offensive. I hope, you know.
I think the
So I
difference
say
too,
that part.
Marilyn,
And if
is
we
that
did, you
you
wouldn't lie
own
about
your
it.
past.
No,
You own
Yeah.
your past. Yeah, you own it. You know that what you did was
You own your
wrong
shit,
in the
one might
past.
say.
Yeah.
I never.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I wasn't actively trying to hurt anyone. I was just like, I was taught that anybody that wasn't our religion would go to hell,
Sure.
whether they were
Sure.
LGBTQ or they were anything. A doctor, if they didn't accept Jesus, my doctor was going to hell. So it was very
Right.
exclusive, very exclusive.
Right.
I
Yeah.
would
You
also
didn't-
say, in response to this question, Marilyn, if you were still actively a bigot and you were moderating for channels of vulnerable trauma survivors who were in the trans or queer community, I would say, no, it's not okay that you're a mod, but you are not an active bigot. I would say, even if you were only like, no, I've been an ally for 3 months, I would still say, that's not long enough. That's not long enough to process, 16 years. I think that's plenty of time.
I think it is important to keep in mind like I know we've said this again and again already tonight, but a lot of the comments highlight this, that really, the betrayal of trust and the moderator aspect, the concerning
Yep.
aspect of the moderation, because like
Go back to that one. Go back to that. The
What, this one?
ZZT smear campaign.
Yeah.
Because
got
I
the
think
email.
that's and that was
a lot of us
was
did,
how
yeah.
the majority felt, and
Mhm.
that's why the investigation started. I
Yeah.
mean, can you really believe half the crap that comes out of that guy's mouth? And you have to do your own research, and good research, and that's what Michelle and others, and I don't know who wants to be named and who doesn't, but you guys did the work, and you
It's all
found
on the
out.
Discord. We don't need to
Yeah.
name anyone, but they're not
There's no,
secret.
it's not a secret. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it
Can I put
wasn't a
something
smear
up?
campaign.
Oh,
is the
I'm sorry.
point.
Can I just put this up? I think
Yep.
it's important too. Dora Explorer, I also see people commenting here right now, and then the comment suddenly disappears. So that doesn't seem right. Other opinions should be welcome. Yes, any opinion is welcome as long as it's respectful. I will tell you right now that I saw a comment where somebody was calling somebody a not nice name. Name calling is not okay in my channel. I looked at my phone. It was on my chat. I booted them. They're not going to call people names and be really rude and nasty. If you have a different opinion, it's welcome. But if you're calling people names and acting like the behavior that we're here to discuss, I'm sorry, you're off my channel. That's just the way it is. You can go to another channel if they put up with it. That's fine. But you're not going to call people names and be rude and disrespectful. I'm not yelling at you, Dora Explorer. I agree with you. I agree with you, honey. No.
Damn
You're
it,
right.
Dora.
No. I'm not yelling at Dora. Oh Lord. No, I'm not yelling at you at all. And so that might be why you see that some comments disappeared, because probably everything that person said since they've been on there might have gotten erased. So I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about. But yeah, other opinions are welcome. If you don't want to believe the facts that these three people labored over and put out there, that's okay. But I kind of feel like if you actually saw the facts and believed it, if you disagree with it, that's okay. I'm not the thought police, but you're going to get some opposition if you're going to defend someone who was openly putting on a public profile transphobic and homophobic things. You're probably going to get some opposition. So yeah, you can have your own opinion. That's fine.
I think this is a good comment, Evelyn. For me, she didn't even need to apologize, just own it. That's what I mean about lies. And I didn't read her previous comment, but it was her completely misrepresenting, everything that happened. That was like, okay, well, I guess we can't just keep this between us, because if only one side is talking about it, it's going to be a lie.
Yeah.
Not side, but every story has 3 sides or whatever. So hopefully
that,
y'all can piece together the truth between the two of our sides. I think we have more receipts.
that just piggybacks on what I was trying to say earlier. It's just, if you were to just come clean, own it, apologize, I'd have so much more respect for her as a person than to just deny. It just be
Well,
honest. I mean, this is
it's
what you thought. Maybe you thought it at the time. Maybe you don't think it at this point. I still think, there's my opinion is she still thinks it at this point. But just to own it would have just been so much easier, and I would have had so much more respect. And that's really all I think a lot of people were asking for. Go ahead,
well,
Joni.
she did I don't know. It's very strange because she did own it as far as, yeah, that's all stuff I posted, and I don't see what the problem is, except for these arbitrary two, which are no
Right.
worse than anything else. Look, the whole thing's weird.
It wasn't just two.
But the two that she was like, yes, these two were insensitive.
Right. Until we dug and found more than just two.
It didn't even take any digging. I mean, it's very strange. If Judge, it's just some weird. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
No,
some questions
think you-
cannot be answered by us.
yeah, exactly. Do you mind if I read?
I don't
if
have a
read
degree,
some-
whatever that
Yeah,
is.
go ahead.
Go
Can I,
for
Go
it.
can I
ahead,
read
Marilyn.
some that are? I know you won't pop
Please.
these up, Michelle. So I want to do it. Linda P. Golan comment. I just found out last night and so disappointed. Very good job, Michelle, on your vlog. Yes, very good job. And I know it wasn't easy. And I think that Joni did a beautiful job editing and insisting that you show your, because you were just going to do a voiceover and not show your face. I'm just the raw emotion on your face. I think
was like, just put my face in when I look hot. And she was like, face.
you're always
hot. Not that's also
nonstop
I have
hotness.
personally. I have kind of. I think this is a generational thing. I can't read something and hear something at the same time. So like I couldn't put up anything on the screen while you were saying something important because
That's fair.
that's
Well,
I'm old.
That
My
was
comment
really
about
good.
the
But also
editing-
hot.
And I
And
think
Linda,
a lot
I'm
of
sorry. Yeah, Linda, I'm sorry. You just found out it last night and so disappointed. People are still, finding out. And Doug really started by really giving a lot of people the information that Michelle put out right hours after her video. He had the transcript that he read, and so many people were in shock. And I totally understand that.
I
was
loved
from-
everything Doug had to say too. I
Yes.
highly encourage
Yeah.
everyone to go back and watch his stream from this past
Sure.
It
Sunday
was
because
excellent. Yeah.
he goes over all of
But-
the same stuff that's in my video, but from an ex-Scientologist perspective, it's just even deeper.
To piggyback
Yes,
on
we'll
Linda's
try to give-
comment,
oh.
I think I
ahead.
think a lot of people are in Linda's position where they just found out,
Yep.
and disappointment. That's the right thing to feel. I mean, what is there, like 5 stages of grief or something like that? And disappointment, I think, is probably the first one, and then
Denial.
it goes denial. I
Shock.
don't know how
Being
it
in
works.
shock. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but let's be honest. I mean, if you're just finding this information out, and this information is obviously backed up and very well documented by Joni and Michelle, you have a right to be disappointed. I mean,
Yeah.
this is someone that you put trust in, and maybe you even donated to. Maybe you did a buy a coffee or donated to the birthday fund, like I had set up. I don't know what I
Trusting
did.
people is not a character flaw, says Bert. Yeah. Don't I
not.
hope anybody doesn't feel bad because
No, and
it
good
was
point.
she really fooled everyone.
Yeah.
She did.
I'm
It's
learning
it's
more
not
every
something to feel
day.
bad about.
How I'm learning every day, even just today with Marilyn, how much she was in people's lives.
Yep.
So
Yeah, Marilyn, you actually shocked
is
me
wild.
how many people's phone numbers, emails that she had. I mean, she really integrated herself into people's personal lives as opposed to just the channels. And whether or not there was a reason for that, or they reached out to her, I think maybe it was both ends. I mean, she seemed like a trusting individual that you could reach out and have a chat with. Uh, where she found the time to do that in between moderating all these channels is your guess as good as mine. However, it's just the disappointment is so understandable because it's such a letdown when it's someone that you trust this much and really thought had your best interest and the the beliefs in your head, those interests in her mind. So it's
Right. And
sad, but
oh,
we'll
sorry.
move on. No,
It's
that's
okay.
it. That's it.
Uh, what Michelle just put up about not giving there's some lessons to learn, right?
Mhm.
To be more careful. To I have several
Always,
mods on my
Mom.
channel. I have several mods. No, I'm talking to myself too. And I'll be honest. Yesterday I did a stream about my former cult leader. Her name is Marlene Sweeney. I like to say her name any chance I get because she earned it
Fuck her.
along with
I'm sorry, what was her
along
name?
with Marlene Sweeney.
Okay.
She earned the privilege along with David Miscavige. So that's my story. And I showed some pictures, and of course, had to have my Kleenex. And honestly, it was brought up by this situation, kind of triggered, some old feelings and some memories and some patterns that I've had, you know. So I'm learning, hopefully I'll learn a little quicker now. But yeah, I think that we all want to move on. That's why, like I said, we don't want to drag this out. I do want to get to some more questions. We've been going for an
Yes.
hour, so uh, I just want
Yeah.
to give a couple
I
more
can't do it
little
too much longer, but yeah, definitely
right,
do that.
encouraging things. Thanks for all your hard work and bravery, you three. Yes. Thank you.
And you,
Thank you for
Marilyn.
Thank you,
doing
one
Thank
that.
you.
dinosaur.
Michelle put her face on it, so she's the brave one.
I know.
Her
Yeah.
hot
You want to put
face.
anything up? Do you want to put anything up, Michelle? Did you see some questions?
No,
There's some actual questions.
no, like please go
I
for
better
it.
read them first though. Do we?
I respond to stress with like inappropriate humor, so sorry if I seem to.
It's okay.
That's
I
okay.
do too.
That's yeah. I'm
I
coping.
just like inappropriate humor, so
Okay, good.
I don't have to
I'm
be
not
stressed.
sure what some of these questions may. I'll put it up anyways. Oop. Question: do we know how much and
Oh,
who was censored, quote banned by in her chats? If it was worth censoring, hateful, derogatory, etc. Do you
I
know what
mean, we
that
don't
means?
have any way of knowing that.
I know
No.
I've
No, but
I
that's a
know I've been
great
muted in some
question.
places.
Exactly,
We're
and
talking
that's
about
the
her.
next thing I want to bring up is being muted in chats, and I know I have been muted in some SPTV chats, and if for anyone who's not aware of what
Yeah.
muting is, you can comment in the chat, but your chat will not show up to other users. It'll show up
Yeah.
to you. However, you won't know that other individuals
Can't
can't
see
see
you.
it.
Oh, okay.
So moving forward, now that there is a new group of moderators, I wonder if there will be some sort of clean slate for people who have. I mean, these are questions to ask the curators that we're interested in, who
Well,
Goldie
yeah,
had
but
previous
when
monitored.
I'm thinking like my like engineer brain, I'm like, thinking we could like maybe put together like how to like a little sheet like how to check and check your muted people or whatever.
Well,
Mhm.
And just like
right.
recommend that people do a little cleanup if Goldie was their moderator, just in case, because actually there have been at least one, but probably a couple of people in even just the Discord who have come and been like, I feel like I'm talking to a wall when I go in live chats and I don't understand why.
Yeah.
And it could definitely be that you're muted. So
I don't
So
think it's so much if I'm muted. It's more of how do I get unmuted at this point? Since there is a new
right.
group of moderators, I think that list should sort of be reviewed at this point because who knows what views you expressed that were
I think
different
that's
from
up to each
Goldie's that
creator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right, but I'm
That's just
saying you
me.
might have had a different viewpoint than Goldie did, and Goldie muted you, and now you're SOL. I
Yeah,
don't know.
exactly.
Yeah,
that's
because you
what
don't
I'm
have any
saying,
way to
because
say, like,
if that's
hey,
I
unmute me.
think that a lot of the problem with like that people will run into in this like particular area is that many of the creators just like click like 2 buttons on YouTube and that's it. So
Give
what
her
I'm
free reign.
envisioning is
Mhm.
like an email that has like, this is literally how you go into your YouTube studio and check who
Yeah.
all you have muted. And
Right.
sending that out to some creators who used to have Goldie as their mod, I think would be maybe beneficial.
I agree.
Just
Yeah.
yeah.
So can I bring up some comments from people from this community as part of the LGBTQI plus community? This hurt my heart.
Yeah. Me
I'm
too.
so sorry. I'm so sorry. And there's
It
another
definitely
one that I saw.
it might
Go ahead.
I just want to say it might have hurt, but really we're growing and we're moving forward. I mean, as of tonight,
Yes.
I really think that we're in terms of LGBT and acceptance in these channels, we're not moving backwards. We're really moving forward with these new moderators and don't worry about that. I mean, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, I don't
And
want to make
everyone's
it sound like
feelings
we
valid.
have like some group of
Yeah, we
like
don't have any
new
creative
moderators that are
control. Yeah, we
coming
don't
in
have
and infiltrating or
right, right.
anything. I don't
We don't
No.
have any creative
I have
control.
my
I'm just
friends
saying.
as moderators.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just saying that
I just don't want it to be misconstrued as all Pete. I know what you're saying.
Oh yeah, we're not delivering any moderators to anybody. It's up to every creator. It's up to every yes.
I'm just
absolutely.
saying. I think the acceptance and tolerance has been addressed due to the, and I hate using this word, the flap that had occurred. I think creators will be more aware, moderators will be more aware in the future, and I think tolerance is just it's going to be a big issue in the future, and I just wish for the best, and I think and I hope the best is yet to come.
All right. I agree.
I love that. I love that.
Okay.
All right. Anything else you wanted to put up? I'm still at the top of everything.
No, I mean there's there's so much. I kind of
Yeah.
I sorry to put you on blast, Evelyn, but she says, I also want to thank both Michelle and Marilyn for being so sweet and patient with me. I went into a rage when I heard, feeling like it was a win for ZDT, and I couldn't get beyond that on my own. And I saw your comment right away, Evelyn, when you made it, and you were angry, and I completely empathized with you. And I was like,
Me too.
I didn't feel like I was getting yelled at. I felt like I was
No.
like, I know.
I know. And to be fair, we had weeks, if not months, to process this. So we were both very understanding because we're like, I know I've been through the whole spectrum, the whole range of emotion, and then back again. I understand. Peace Dog wants to know. Question: is Goldie's Gab profile still active?
I just looked at it. Sure enough.
It is.
Sure enough. If you go look at it now.
I'm not encouraging anyone to do that.
No, but you'll just see she's really pruned like the most recent history. So you got to scroll for a bit to get to the nonsense. But yep, still there.
So here's the sexiest mod on my channel, Duncan Honig. Poor guy. Oh yeah,
citation needed.
This poor guy.
I built Duncan a new hole. Look.
You gotta
I'm
explain that
so
to them.
confused right now.
Yeah, you gotta. We'll have to tell you. We'll tell you off screen. He lives in Michelle's basement. Hi y'all. Just jumping in, reading the chat. Glad this is mostly civil. Yeah, thank you everyone for being civil. Let's remember all real relationships are built on trust, which is based on a person's integrity. That's number one. Thank you.
Thank you, Peggy, for helping keep it civil also.
Yes, Peggy. Yeah. She's working in StreamYard. We love Peggy. And Peggy is, if you don't know her, she's Happy Chaos. And just can I put a little plug in for her tomorrow? Her and I will be interviewing Lindsay Williams from Shiny Happy People 1:00 Eastern tomorrow. And Peggy will be on screen. So she has done some lives with me. But thank you, Peggy, for all you do. I love you. So what do you guys
Um,
think? We want to go through
yeah,
a few more?
yeah, just a couple more, I think. Just
Okay.
some questions we can answer real quick. Like,
Mhm.
did Goldie moderate on channels of LGBTQ creators? And the answer is
She
yes,
did.
Yes.
Yes, she
several.
Yeah.
did.
All
And
of them.
to that,
I,
I say, in the words of Serge Delmar, bye, Felicia, which is what he said in his email about
He didn't
Goldie.
even, yeah, he didn't even,
he didn't
he
even
was
think
like,
about it.
yeah,
No,
no,
and he said specifically in the email that that he doesn't care if it is his thoughts on the matter are shared with anyone else. So that
Yeah.
screenshot of that is actually up in the Google Drive as well. But yeah, immediately when he was told, you know, what the truth was about one of his moderators, he was disgusted. And to Goldie, I say bye, Felicia. And I agree with that.
vintage Surge,
Urge.
classic
Yeah.
Surge.
So how do we move on from here? I mean, we learned some lessons. I don't have any, you know, animosity or hate. Like I said, if she called me, I'd pick up. But we can't tolerate intolerance. We can't tolerate hate and people that just want to be who they are and love who they love. You know, and
Mhm.
people should know better. You know, it does
Yeah.
make me a little upset, but oh,
And
here
I
we go.
don't,
Yep. And I
the people,
Jonathan.
the I mean, we've gotten just overwhelmingly positive feedback about everything, and people who are like, "I really heard, but thank you for telling me," etc. But there's a handful of folks who are taking it very personally because they share Goldie's beliefs about some things, and they feel like they're identifying with her, and like feeling like they're feeling canceled, I guess. But I just want to say that it's nobody's saying she can't think whatever she wants, or she can't post whatever she wants wherever she
or
wants.
even be in the community.
But yeah,
Sure.
absolutely. Hang out in the live chats, whatever. But it was just, it's to me blindingly obvious that that's not someone you want to have as your public face on YouTube, you know, when
Yeah.
you're in a big tent community that does represent a lot of people. And we kind of got together and we shared this information with the creators, and it didn't take, like with Serge, he was like, "Oh, nope." You know, some people
I'm telling
who
you,
were
every
closer to her
single person.
took like Marilyn took it, she had to process it because they were close.
Mhm.
But it wasn't like, "We demand that you cancel her,"
Yeah.
or I don't know. But it was,
I think, Shoni, what you're getting at, it's really not a political issue. This is a human rights
it
issue.
goes, if it was
This is
just
It's not
a
political,
political.
we wouldn't
Yeah.
even be
I don't
here.
even think it's a human rights issue. I think it's a safety issue. I think it's a moderator issue. It's a power issue. It's like she
yeah,
can think whatever she can be against human rights for all I care if she doesn't have a wrench or my
Yeah.
email address,
Yeah.
and I'm not giving her money, and I'm not
right.
coming into a chat and spending my personal gay energy saying, "Hi Goldie, I love you."
Yeah, yeah. And even some creators are getting into sponsorships with the larger companies and
Also, there's
having
a foundation attached to everybody as well that,
Yeah.
yeah,
there's
exact
a,
good point. Good point.
Yep.
Yep.
But
So
no,
I feel like they're looking
having
Totally
out.
a
right.
foundation, having corporate sponsors
Yeah.
behind you, and then having a moderator be the face of your channel. I mean, you really have to have
Yeah.
your ducks in a row, and you
You
really
do
have
have
to
to be
beware.
careful. Yeah.
You have to
I
be careful.
I run a
Mhm.
nonprofit. I founded a nonprofit and
Oh,
incorporated it. And all I know is in Massachusetts, which is like stone's throw for me, that's where we incorporated. It's probably a countrywide thing, is that you can't be political. You can't endorse candidates. You can't
mhm,
show that you're
that's true.
political at all. And anything that would infringe on people's rights, that's definitely an issue as well, which I put in a separate category, like you said. I think that that's common decency, and In safety, right, exactly. I just want to put a super chat. Thank you,
Oh,
Cassie.
nice.
Thank you,
Wow.
Cassie, a super chat, my goodness.
Wow, Dusty has it.
Thank you, Cassie. While this situation definitely sucked, yep, we can now get back to the task of exposing Scientology and spreading love. And like
Yep.
Denver Stevo says, Osa still smells like poo. That's right. You're not going to win, Osa.
Yeah.
We got
Love you
some
guys.
protests coming up. We got more
Yes.
important
Right.
stuff to do.
Totally. I'm ready to
Absolutely.
move on. Like, do you
Yeah.
guys feel resolved? I
Yeah.
feel resolved.
I do, and I
Right.
don't want to have to, hash it out again. I hope
Yeah.
everybody feels heard. If we didn't get to your question, I will go through the chat, and if there's anything that you ask that, or even in the comments, I always read all the comments. I don't do the replay, read all the chat, but I do read all the comments. So please, if you have a question, your question didn't get answered, just keep it there, because we don't want to just keep this going, spilling out into all these streams. We want to
Yeah,
refer
is
come
back
back
to
to
this
this
video.
one.
Refer back
okay?
to this video. We'll answer questions in this video. We'll answer questions in the comments. And Tampa B, another super chat.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh,
Oh, I love Barb. You're so sweet. Life is one big trauma
Mara.
after another. We got this. Yes. Ain't nothing compared to how
Barb.
strong we are as survivor. We love you, Barb. Thank you so much.
Is it okay
Barb,
to
you're a
say,
survivor.
Michelle, that there is a place in Discord if people do still need to talk through their feelings about it? Is that okay to?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm
Yeah.
gonna leave that
It's
thread
not
up
like
have
we're
the
there.
never
link in
going to
my
talk about this
description.
again,
No.
because
Right.
people
Yeah.
are
And
just still learning.
Yeah, we're not telling anybody they can't talk
Yeah.
about it. I'm just saying
It's
that
not going to be
like,
productive in anyone's live chats,
just to
though.
keep it dragging, right? Just to keep
Yeah.
dragging on. As far as my,
Yeah.
my channel,
But
I
there's
would
a
like to
place.
just move on.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
hope
I would just-
everybody
I-
feels validated
Mhm.
and heard and able to talk about it. Yeah.
Yep.
Marilyn, I just
agree.
wanted to
And I
thank
think
you for
that's-
setting this up. I think it was a great idea for anyone that's
Please don't.
browsing YouTube to find this chat and to realize this
Well,
this
you
is
all
a
inspired
this is
me. Your
essentially
bravery.
a repository for information on how this came about
Mhm.
and why it came about and what we're doing moving forward. And
And I just wanted
Joni,
to give
Michelle,
everyone,
both of you guys,
thank you.
indispensable with the research you did. So
Yeah.
thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. And
Thank you.
Michelle's video and Doug's stream came out back to back, and it's been a few days. So people have had, a couple days at least to process. So I thought, why don't we just talk about it? And Michelle, I don't know if you have access to read the thumbnail that you put up. You
Oh,
have
I
the
do.
text.
I could.
Okay,
Yeah.
can you read it?
Yeah. So, crap. Where is it?
No one
Hold
should
on.
feel ashamed.
I have it.
Yes.
I have it.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
wait. Do you have it?
Me? No. I was just reinforcing that nobody should feel bad. That I believed Elron, so I'm trying to not feel bad
Oh,
about
here
that.
it is. The talking
Yeah,
deal.
I believe
Okay,
Marlene
this is
Sweeney.
a quote. Yes. Okay. So actually, it is the thumbnail. I don't even have it ready to put up on the screen or anything, but this is a quote from Leah Remini's book, and I guess we will close with it. I think. Is that
Woo!
cool with everyone? And she said, "Why are we so scared to be judged imperfect or to talk about how we really feel, to be authentic? If we can just tell each other how and what we're really doing, step outside of what we believe others think we should be, the result can be therapeutic." And I think
Leah
That's
Remini, troublemaker.
Not nearly enough efforts in
Troublemaker.
that for that to have been Leah's quote. I think you made that with a copier and scissors. I don't buy
she
it.
had an editor. I don't know. All right.
Inside joke,
everybody.
guys.
I'm sorry, it was just so funny.
And it was
Bye.
great. And it was great.
Hey, you got to be able to laugh.